Welcome into Steelers Talk, Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry. Today, we are talking Steelers rumors. DeAndre Hopkins. Will he become a Steeler? Will the Steelers make a move to go get DeAndre Hopkins? Then I'm also going to be going over a couple of mock drafts that have come out over the last couple of days. Some very interesting picks made for the Steelers in round one. And then stick around to the end of the show where I'm going to be revealing Tomlin's new secret weapon on the Steelers defense for 2023. But before we get into today's action, make sure that you click that subscribe button and join the fastest growing Steelers channel here on YouTube. And let me tell you guys, that's for a reason. We give you guys daily Steelers news and rumors videos. We got a bunch of NFL free agency and draft content coming your way here. It's going to be fantastic. So if you love the Steelers, you love the black and gold, and you want daily Steelers content, make sure you click that subscribe button for me right now. So now let's get into DeAndre Hopkins, where I saw a rumor today from Matt Lombardo. Now, Matt Lombardo's kind of a clown. I'm going to preface this by saying that he's kind of a clown, but this is what he had to say about the Steelers potentially making a move for DeAndre Hopkins. The Pittsburgh Steelers have a brief window to build around quarterback Kenny Pickett in a murderer's row of a division where they'll square off with Joe Burrow's Cincinnati Bengals, Deshaun Watson's Cleveland Browns, and the Baltimore Ravens twice each season. He continues to say Pittsburgh got a glimpse of how electrifying wide receiver George Pickens can be when the rookie pulled down 52 receptions for 801 yards and 4 touchdowns in 2022, despite wildly inconsistent quarterback play from Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky. Then he continues to say Hopkins would certainly create opportunities for Pickens and command the attention of opposing defenses. Likewise, only dropping one pass last season, Hopkins could serve as a bit of a security blanket with big play upside in Pickett's second NFL season. So, in my opinion, guys, I don't think that this is going to really happen. I just don't think it's a very likely scenario, and I think that Lombardo's forgetting a lot of aspects here. I think Kenny Pickett showed some really good things towards the end of the year. I don't think the AFC North is as crazy as he says it is. The Ravens are about to lose Lamar Jackson. Deshaun Watson did not play well at the end of the 2022 season. I don't think that it's that crazy of a division either. So I really think that a Hopkins trade is unlikely, and here are the reasons for that. I think that I don't think that the money works. I think if you add another big contract at the wide receiver position when you're already paying Diontae Johnson, and then Lord knows how much you're spending on the defensive side of the ball, I just don't think the Steelers have enough money to make it work. And then also, if you bring him in, that's a lot of mouths to feed, man. You got DeAndre Hopkins, Diontae Johnson, George Pickens, Pat Freirmuth. They're all going to want the ball at least quite a bit next year. And I think if you add another top-tier guy like DeAndre Hopkins to the lineup, people can start to get greedy. And, if Pickett isn't delivering the ball to multiple people are going to start to get upset. I'm just not sure that this is a move that the Steelers would actually consider. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Should the Steelers trade for DeAndre Hopkins? Type T if you would trade for him, or type P if you would pass on him. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get an ad break here on today's show, just go ahead, go into the comment section, find that pinned comment. It'll be right there at the top, and answer today's question. So now we can take a look at the Steelers wide receiver depth chart. I think that they're pretty solid, right? You got Diontae Johnson, who gets open more than just about any other receiver in the National Football League. Now, no touchdowns last year, but I think that's kind of an anomaly. That was kind of a misnomer there. I think he's going to be a lot better in 2023. Then George Pickens, really big receiver. I think he's going to blossom into one of the best receivers in the National Football League next year, if I'm being honest. Of course, you got Calvin Austin III coming back from that major foot injury last season. You got Anthony Miller that you signed this offseason that I really like. I think that they will add another piece this offseason, whether it be through free agency like a Jarvis Landry, or through the draft like a Xavier Hutchinson on day 3 from Iowa State. I think that they will add another piece, but I don't think that they're going to make a big trade to go get another big name receiver, because I think that what is more likely, like I said, is that what they need is just depth. They don't need another really good receiver. I think that they've got their really great hands receiver in George Pickens. You got a really good receiving tight end in Pat Freirmuth. You got your get-open guy on third down situations in Diontae Johnson. You don't necessarily need to make a huge move for DeAndre Hopkins. And then next year anyway, it looks like the Steelers are going to be focusing more on the run game, ground and pound, and then having their defense win them football games. So I just don't think this is a move that the Steelers would even consider, in my opinion. Now let's shift over to some NFL mock draft reactions. There's a couple of mock drafts that came out over the last couple of days. And Mike Tannenbaum from ESPN, former New York Jets GM, came out with his. By the way, he had Hendon Hooker going number 5 overall, which is ridiculous. But he also has Devin Witherspoon from Illinois falling to the Steelers. So I can't say I hate that mock draft too much, because if Witherspoon falls to the Steelers at number 17, he's one of those can't-miss guys that you absolutely have to take. I think that the Steelers are probably looking more towards day 2 to get that cornerback in this year's NFL draft. But if Witherspoon is there at 17, I think he's got arguably the best film out of any other cornerback in this class. In fact, it's not even arguable in my opinion. It's the best. He's a hard hitter. You know, he might be a little light at 6'1", 180, but he doesn't play like that, man. He hits people hard. He's got a nose for the football. He's got great coverage instincts. For me, I think that this is an A+. I think that this is a fantastic pick if he falls to the Steelers at number 17. If either him or Christian Gonzalez makes it here at 17, it almost doesn't matter who else is here. I think that you have to go corner, because those guys are just special prospects. Now, like, if it's between Devin Witherspoon and Broderick Jones, I'm going with the left tackle. But, I mean, I think that if Witherspoon is here, that means all 3 of those top tackles are off the board. So I love this pick, Witherspoon. Reuniting him with his brother, Akella Witherspoon, would just be a match made in heaven, in my opinion. So ESPN came out with a 7-round Steelers mock draft, okay? So this is a different one. This one comes from Jordan Reed, another ESPN analyst. This is what he had to do for the 7 rounds of the Steelers draft. Darnell Wright in the first round at number 17. Then they get Brian Branch, okay? So another ESPN analyst having Brian Branch escape the first round. I mean, wow. Then you got Trenton Simpson as the second round 2 guy there out of Clemson, linebacker. Then you got Darius Rush, a cornerback out of South Carolina. And then the later rounds here, he has them going C. Murphy here out of Fresno State. You got Martin there from Western Kentucky, and then Moreno Cooper, wide receiver from Fresno State as well. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Darnell Wright, because I'm not sure if I like this pick. I'm not sure if I like the idea of drafting somebody that's a right tackle. Now, I think that when you look at the Steelers' offensive line depth chart right now, you got Chukwuma Okorafor, you got Dan Moore Jr. Which one of those guys is least likely to be a power or an effective power blocker? In my opinion, it's Dan Moore Jr. So I think if you're going to replace one of these guys, it should be to go get a left tackle if you can. Now, in this situation, Broderick Jones, Peter Skoronski, and Paris Johnson Jr. are all off the board. So it's like, well, why don't we just get the best tackle available? First of all, I actually kind of like DeJuan Jones better than I like Darnell Wright personally. But, I mean, Darnell Wright is a right tackle, so what are you going to do? Are you going to try moving Darnell over to left tackle where he really struggled in college? Or are you going to move Chukwuma Okorafor over to left tackle? I mean, I just think that the Steelers would be best served to go get somebody that's had experience playing left tackle, somebody that is a good left tackle, and we know can be a good left tackle in the league. I think it would be even worth trading up a couple spots to go get a guy like Broderick Jones at number like 14 or 15 overall if somebody is willing to trade back. I think that would be much, much better, because I just don't think that Darnell Wright has what it takes to be a left tackle in the league. I think he's going to be a really good right tackle, and if he's not going to be a right tackle, he's going to be one hell of a power blocking guard. But I just don't see the reasoning for going out and getting a right tackle when you already have somebody in Chukwuma Okorafor that's pretty decent at right tackle, I would say, especially with the scheme switches that the Steelers are making in the run game. I just think that number one priority for me, if I was Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin, I would be going and getting a left tackle. So let me know in the comments section right now, should Pittsburgh take a left tackle or cornerback in round 1? What should be the priority for the black and gold? Type LT for left tackle or type CB for cornerback? Now, to wrap things up here for this rumors segment today, I want to talk a little bit about somebody that I think is going to be Mike Tomlin's secret weapon on defense in 2023. And that player is, drumroll please, Patrick Peterson. They just signed him to replace Cam Sutton. And Mike Tomlin and Patrick Peterson have been talking to the media quite a bit about how the vision for Peterson in this defense is for him to move around. So what will that look like? So I think, first of all, he's going to be primarily an outside cornerback. But like I said, it seems like Tomlin is planning on moving him around. So the two areas I really see him moving into, like, quote-unquote safety type roles is to play a nickel star position. So when they're in their nickel packages and in their dime packages, they will allow Patrick Peterson to play in the slot and kind of roam around and kind of just kind of just hunt the football and try to get interceptions. This is the same role that Jalen Ramsey plays in the Rams defense, and he does an incredibly good job. Can Patrick Peterson play that role? I don't know. He's never played that role before. He's always just played straight up outside cornerback, but he can also be used as a safety in inverted coverages. So what an inverted coverage means is that the defense is showing one thing, and then they go to a different thing. So like, for example, they could be showing like cover 3 or something like that, and then they shift to a cover 2 invert where the corners are actually the safeties. So that's something that Mike Tomlin has done in the past. He likes doing that sort of thing because Mike Tomlin really likes to confuse opposing quarterbacks. That is the name of the game in the NFL, is kind of screwing up the processing of the opposing quarterback. And it looks like that Peterson is going to be that guy for the Steelers in 2023. Of course, you got Minkah Fitzpatrick that also does a great job effing stuff up on the defensive side of the ball. But now it seems like Tomlin believes that Peterson can be kind of that second chess piece that he can deploy. And, you know, he's still going to be playing outside corner a lot, right? He's still going to be matching up against these top receivers and stuff, but I really think that he is going to have a really unique role in this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. He's going to be playing that nickel star role, and you know, having Minkah Fitzpatrick and Patrick Peterson coming kind of roaming around the defense, reading the eyes of the quarterback, I think it's going to wreak havoc on the NFL. I think this defense is going to be fantastic in 2023, but the only downside to this, like I've said before, is that Patrick Peterson has not played this kind of role in his career so far. Like in his entire playing career, he's just played outside corner and he's just like locked up on one receiver, right? This isn't something that he's used to doing. It might take a little bit of a learning curve, but I like the instincts that he plays the game with, and I'm very excited to see what the Steelers defense looks like with him in that role. So how confident are you in the Steelers defense right now? Scale it on a scale of 1 to 10 for me in the comment section. For me, I'm going to go a 10. I'm actually very confident in this Steelers defense. I'm confident in Patrick Peterson. I think he's a great fit for the Steelers defense. I think he's going to get a lot of interceptions. Same thing with Minkah Fitzpatrick. I trust Mike Tomlin. When he has the pieces on defense, he always delivers a great defensive product. I have a 10 confidence level in the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then go ahead, follow me on Twitter. If you want a shout out on next week's Steelers Talk live show, you can find me at Jack_Sperry if you want a shout out on next week's Steelers Talk live show.